The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time.
Nah, I still do old folk dances, bro.
The greatest podcast of all time.
Yep. Hey.
The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time.
Yep. Yo, bro. So I think it's funny, man. I realize now that I'm getting old. Hey, yo. I realize that I'm getting old because I still do all the old folks dances here, bro. Every time I'm sitting here, I see my son doing all the different TikTok dances and all this other stuff, though, bro. And he be looking at me like, nah.
That's because they can't do our dances. It ain't got nothing to do with us being old. They just can't do our dances. Our dances with a lot of feet. They do a lot of hand stuff.
You know what? That is funny you say that, though, man, because I think that it's funny when I'm looking. When I look at all of the TikTok videos, right, that they do, everything is every routine does some of the same steps. Oh, get it. Yeah, it looked like you got a dope playlist directing airplane, bro.
Right, or somebody directing a choir.
Yeah, man, that's exactly it, though, man.
Yeah, because I think it's Charlie all day. They would be up there doing.
Oh my gosh, man! I think that it's all hand gestures there, bro. Though, so yeah. Hey, but we back, man. Shout out to the homie Mark for filling in for your boy. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, man, he killed it, bro. Like I love his perspective on everything. You know, Mark is not only like one of the homies.
Yeah.
And he been down from day one with the Slash Brothers, but I mean, you know. It's because of Mark we got some of the special guests that we've had.
Mark is the plug.
Yeah, he is the plug, literally. And you know what I'm saying? It was one of those things like Mark got me set up with Mark Lane to do the open mic series. So that boy be putting in work, man. He take care of his people, bro.
Oh, yeah. I like it.
And he smooths in when I needed it.
Hey, yeah. Very much so. So, hey, man. I saw y'all did this. So I was on my vacation though, bro. Had a good little time though, man. I feel so refreshed.
Had your legs out, like I said,
bro. I'm talking about like I told you, man. I'm wearing the short shorts. I'm wearing them douche shorts all summer long though, man. They gonna get this thigh meat out here though, bro.
Yeah, bro. That boy out there putting all the thigh meat out there. Young boys. I be telling Deuce and them all the time. Look, finally had Deuce. Look at somebody else's shorts was like, okay, now he taking it too far. Because the basketball boys, they roll their shorts up, right? Mm-hmm. And so this one dude, he wasn't even playing. He looked like he just put on somebody's old track shorts, bro. I was like, bro, come on.
So it's funny though, man, because I tripped out because I run in mine, right? And I totally know the difference between running in running shorts that are short, like the 7-inch shorts or the 9-inch shorts versus doing it in basketball. Big difference though, bro. So
but look, this dude even took it so far. He tucked the bottom of his shorts up.
Oh my God. So he out there looking like he got a balloon,
bruh.
Tucked in. No. Hey, so you know, went out to me and the fam went out to Amelia Island though, bro. And so because of that, though, man, we kind of will be self-quarantining ourselves here just because they've been talking about how Florida's been having all their cases for COVID and increases and everything like that, though, man. The boys out there with that Coors virus, real heavy. But one of the things I thought that was real interesting about it, though, man, is that Amelia Island is dope, man. It was it's north of Jacksonville, and so we usually go out to Panama City Beach, Destin. It's kind of normal spot and everything like that. And, you know, somebody at the job was like, Amelia Island should be within driver's distance from you, whatever. It's about the same distance as Panama City Beach and everything.
Yeah.
And so we checked it on out, though, man. Got a dope little Airbnb, though, man. And hung out at the beach for a few days. The wild part about it, though, bro, is that it tells you how different the times are because, when we went out there, the place, part of their, their ad on Airbnb was that, hey, we got professional sterilized and done and all this other stuff or whatever, right? So we go out there, and the first thing we do, I go out there with the homie Courtney. Shout out to Courtney checking in also periodically. So we go out there, man. The first thing we do, we bust out the gloves, we bust out the Lysol wipes, the bleach, and even though they told us, right, we wiping everything down before we even unpacked the bag. Before we walked around the house to look at it, and then right after that, though, man, we went ahead and immediately wiped all the high traffic areas, high touch areas. So I'm talking about everything down, though, man. Just to be sure, though, man. So,
yeah, but here's the thing, though. Even 2020 BC, 20 before COVID, y'all boys was germaphobes anyway. So y'all
I was already germaphobe,
yeah,
man.
Yeah.
But this one just basically definitely took it to the max, though, man. And so I thought that it was pretty cool, man. But like I said, I still was able to enjoy myself, though, man. Got out to the beach. The one thing that I was interested in seeing, though, man, is that, like even in Atlanta, we don't just get out like that because of everything that's going on.
Yeah.
And so they got limited hours. They got all this other stuff that's going on that kind of prevents it. So we were going to go ahead and get on out and about. So we went ahead and went out to the beach, hung out at the beach for like 4 to 6 hours every day. And then when we went out to, when we actually did go out, we ate on the patios just because we figured that was like one of the cleaner, safer ways that we ain't just kind of confined into whatever. So we did that and hung back out at the beach. The one thing that was real dope, probably like tomorrow, I'm gonna probably post some other pictures though, but the spot that we was in had like this little river or lagoon in the backyard. So you could, they had a dock out there so you can hop on a little canoe and paddle your way around up and down this river. Took some dope pictures of the missus for her website and for her content. The homie shot his. The funny thing though about this, right, is that while we're out here, we're the only black people everywhere we go, right? So we walking around, we at the beach, no black people at the beach, right? Just us, you know what I'm saying? We saw maybe 1 or 2 couples where while we were coming, they were leaving, right?
Yeah.
And then when we're out and about, we go out to the pier, no black people there at all, the entire time. So everywhere we go, we run to the store because we basically went and, brought food to cook and everything like that at the store. No black people all there. So I was like, what's going on here in Amelia Island? And it looked almost like how Chris Tucker was like on Rush Hour too. He was like, man, what you mean try to blend in? I'm a foot taller than everybody out here. How I'm gonna blend in? Yeah. Well, it felt like that. It was like we were clearly tourists, right?
Yeah.
But they were showing wild love out there in Amelia Island, though, and it was almost like, are y'all showing this kind of love because y'all know we tourists? Or y'all showing this kind of love because y'all don't really see this many black people out here? I don't know.
What's going on, Jared? But Vixen, I have to disagree, man. My brother is very much more of a cleaner person than I am, and that's not even a hard thing to say.
No, I think she's saying they don't, meaning the people who clean the house up don't clean like you would do it yourself.
I thought she was trying to say like me, because I'm like, you got me beat, brother. But
man, but it was funny. We was out there though, man, and this one lady in particular, she probably had a couple of more drinks and everything like that, a little sauce, you know what I'm saying? And she was like, y'all are so beautiful. You got a beautiful family. And we was just like, I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? But this was like the second time. Shout out to listen, Kim. Before I say that, Kim, you ain't got to say nothing but a word. What you talking about?
You the link right now.
Listen. If you got time right now, we put you on to that. What you talking about?
What's going on?
But you know what?
What's up?
Because we got a couple things that we got to get into. And Kim, I see your post and I see where you at these days here. And I think that you might be good for this one though, man. Real talk. So a couple things we got to get into there, bro. Hamskin. So the last time I chatted up with y'all, right?
Yeah.
We talking about the boy Kanye. Kanye said he was running for president, right? Mm-hmm. Kanye fell back from that.
Yeah.
Right.
But he didn't fall back. He signed up in a couple of spots.
Well, listen, here's what I'm wondering. The last time I chopped it up with y'all, man, the homeboy Kanye West said that he was running for president. Then I saw something that he had the birthday. You told me he had the birthday party. I thought you was lying.
Yep.
Had the birthday party. All right. So then I'm sitting here on my vacation. I got my feet in the sand. I'm sitting here sipping on me. Listen, I'm sipping here at the beach. Now, you know me, I'm not a drinker, but I'm sipping on some Tito's and some other stuff going on, right? And I'm seeing all throughout my timeline a couple times, and I'm just browsing. This boy Kanye West out here spazzing out like he having some kind of manic episode out here.
Right.
And so I'm sitting here chopping it up with the homies. I'm chopping it up with the missus, and she said, yo, I think the boy Kanye West needs some help. This boy needs some counseling. Ace Kennedy, part of me was saying I only saw the part where he was talking about his mom, right?
And that's the thing. We always are quick to jump to conclusion by using that one clip. But go ahead.
So I saw the one from his mom, and it had me thinking just on that one because we were talking about two different things. I didn't see the Harriet Tubman yet. Right?
I haven't either.
Okay, now here we go. So the boy Kanye goes out here, and the first one I see is him talking about his mom. And the thing that I tell you all the time, I am far from an expert on how people should grieve. I've never experienced someone that was so very, very, very close to me passing. I've been fortunate enough to be able to say that, and not very many people can say that,
right?
In a good way. But with that said, though, I'm far from how do you deal with that? How do you deal with someone that I don't? So I don't know that I would ever be able to deal with my Lord, God forbid, my mom especially. But I understood where Kanye was coming from because you think, Kanye is, a little older than you and I, but you think as with black people in general, black men, when you come from the hood, or you grew up a certain way, and you grew up especially with a single mom in your household, and your goal always is, I want to buy my mom a house, right? I want to spoil my mom. Where Kanye was coming from, you got me on the okay. So I sounded good on that one, by the way. But here's the thing, though. I think the thing that got me the most about when Kanye was on there was that I understood because I've had the similar goals, right? I'm sitting here thinking like, hey, yo, I want to take care of my mom. I want to buy my mom a house. I want to go ahead and do everything I could to spoil my mom, not have to work, have her just, and then just like that, when you finally are able to do that, your mother passed away unexpectedly, right? So I would never be able to get over that. So when I heard him talking about that and him basically crying out like a child still, I was like, I don't think that that's counseling. I think that that's just he'll always feel that way, whether he's talking good or bad about his mom, because right when he was at his peak, where he could do everything that he always said that he would do, she was taken away from him. And I saw the video, man, and I immediately was almost brought to tears watching him. Yeah. Thinking that I know exactly where he is coming from that one, because I would feel the exact same way.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Kanye's mother's funeral was here in Oklahoma City. And like he explained, she saved his life. So the thing is that, yes, that is a huge trigger for him. So it wasn't so much me seeing that video that had me alarmed. What had me alarmed was his tweets. So here recently, he just started tweeting about Kris Jenner and Kim. You know what I'm saying? And so he's talking about Kim wants to basically have a doctor admit him and this, that, and the other. So that's what's troubling to me, but again, that's a family issue. Like you're having an open fight as celebrities, as a couple online. And the thing is that, now don't get me wrong. Kanye himself has said that he has some mental things going on. He talked about it when he did his interview, that one-on-one interview in Calabasas with Charlemagne the God. And so he did admit that he did have some things going on, but at the same token, like Charlemagne says, he talks to Kanye all the time, and it's not so much like Charlemagne is a huge advocate for mental health, but at the same token, he's like, nah, Kanye is just being Kanye. He said, think about it, man. Kanye did all of this stuff, all these tweets, all this stuff about the presidency. And while because he's talked in different podcasts about who would be his running mate and all this other stuff, all of this extra stuff. But at the same token, guess what else? He's dropping an album.
Listen. That is my number one thing that I told you before. When we last talked about this, I said, why does he go there? Like, he needs the attention because he's going to do something, right? He has his Gap deal. He just came out with the little sandal shoe. And part of me just thinking, like, he got to be about to drop another project. And I think the thing that got me is that it's almost like I said, it's a very Kardashian thing to do, that you create some kind of stir in the media, you draw the attention, boom, you put out this project. And I guarantee you that once this happened, you may go another year before you hear Kanye say any ill things about Kris Jenner or Kim Kardashian publicly. But when you put their names out there, you know what I'm saying? People who are paid by the tweet, it's gonna get all the it's all. And part of me, I feel disappointed because I'm one that admittedly doesn't quite understand mental health like that.
Right.
I'm open to have someone explain what they're going through, and I think I'm a good listener. But even if I don't necessarily understand it, if someone ever felt like they wanted to get some stuff out, I'm always there to do it.
Yeah.
But listen to it. But at the same time, it almost makes you question, like, does he really have mental health issues, or does someone just need to listen to him? Like, why don't Kanye West just come on the Slash Brothers podcast and just have us listen to him, right? But aside from that, though, like, does he really need counseling, or does he just want to be heard? Because you could have something to say about everything and you never get a chance to say this. So does he just need a platform, not just music, but a platform that just talk and people listen? I'm sure if Kanye West had a podcast, I'm sure he'd have millions of subscribers. People just follow him now, and I think that he just wants to be heard.
Here's the thing. This, for one, I do understand a little bit about mental health because I suffer from depression and anxiety, stuff from the military. And you and I have talked about that on and off camera or whatever the case may be.
Yep.
But at the same time, Kanye is a creator. So it's not so much. So a lot of times when people look at somebody that's different, then they assume, oh, something's wrong with him. Yes, he does have mental health stuff, and he does do things for it. That doesn't necessarily mean, though, that something's wrong with him. And I told you from day one, it doesn't matter about talent anymore. It matters about the antics.
Listen, bro.
Told you that.
Ace Kennedy. So you mean to tell me that I need to get out here in order for my album to sell? Well, first off, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and touch up these mixes so I can go ahead and get this thing finally mastered. Oh my God.
I just pulled in stems yesterday.
We gonna talk about that all. But you mean to tell me that even as great as it is, that all that will matter is that in order for me to get that buzz, I need to say, for starters, that Harriet Tubman didn't actually free slaves. She took them to go and get jobs working for other white people, right? And as crazy as that sounds, when you put it on paper, what that is, the part where you say, well, she didn't free them, she took them to go and work for white people. Well, they're not slaves anymore, right? They got jobs, they're getting paid. That's when you, bro.
Kanye West knows what he's doing. He is a creator. And like Charlemagne said, and like you just said, right? It's amazing how when there's nothing about to drop, we don't hear anything from him.
You don't hear nothing from Kanye West until he has something.
He knows how to create a buzz. And again, I'm not saying that this particular time that there's nothing going on. Again, he's had like the last family that he had was his mother. So outside of his family, now it's his wife. So then whatever she's trying to do about with, with their kids, it also reflects about him and his relationship with his parents. So there is triggers. But at the same token, with that being said, he still knows how to create a buzz, and he knows how. And so the thing is that if Kanye West, one of the biggest artists in the world, still has to do antics, I'm sorry, my brother, for this.
What I gotta listen? What I don't listen. Ace. I'm gonna tell you. I need somebody in these comments to tell me what is it that I need to do to get hot. To put the listen. Ace Kennedy, I'm gonna tell you this. So let me tell you the one thing that I did have an opportunity to do when I was going on vacation. I never listened to other rappers' music, right? I don't listen to a lot of people's music because as a creative, I don't want what nobody else is doing to influence what I'm doing on my project. So but I thought that it was just, I know that my project doesn't sound like nothing that nobody else is doing because I finally got 5.5 hours there, 5.5 hours back. So 11 hours of listening to people. And I'm listening to all of these people who I know that are the end thing. And I was just like, I'm kind of disappointed, right? I'm trying to figure out what is the thing. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking like, Ace, I'm not going to sound, I don't want to sound cocky or arrogant or nothing. But I think that my stuff sounds better, right?
Yeah, but you got to understand.
So I need to know what I need you to tell me, and what I need Kim to tell me, and what I need Mark to tell me, and what I need Vincent to tell me is what antics do I need to do to get hot like Kanye is doing, because they're still in all the antics. I don't know what else is there left to be done.
Bro, you just need to put on them old jeans that you wore at City Lights.
And go ass out here in these streets.
Right. And just run around and then drop your album. I guarantee you, people won't listen to it.
So get some skinny pants, the print style skinny pants.
Yeah.
Cut the pockets, the back pockets out. Keep the ass cheeks out.
Yeah.
And go for a run in my Hirachis. Do I need to have my shirt off when I do this?
Yeah. Gotta have your shirt off.
I need to have my shirt off.
And you gotta run in your either like some type of mask.
So I need a mask, but they won't know it's me though.
Nah. So you get like the Sub-Zero mask. You don't get like don't put the
but you need, well, I guess my tattoos will be showing, and anybody who knows, but you got to see my face though, right? How they gonna know it's me if I got a mask on?
Well, the thing is that you don't want them to really know it's you. You want it to look similar to you so that people can ask you, yo, is Charlie, was that you? And then the conversation, your mentions will go up because we'll leak it like it's not from us. We'll leak it, and then that way it'll be attributed to you. And then you drop your album, telling you it's all over from there, bro. And you just gotta have somebody record it. It's got to be a high quality camera, though.
Ace Kennedy,
what up,
bro? I'm sitting here low key. You got me thinking, if Kanye West, I got Kanye in my top 10 rappers of all time.
Yeah.
I think he's top 10. No, he might not be. But if Kanye West has to do antics still to put out an album,
you gotta do it. Listen, if my boy, fresh out of jail, has to still do antics, and that's what he went to jail for, you gotta do it.
No. Listen, man. This hurts my heart. This hurts my heart, bro. And listen, man. No, this hurts my heart, bro. This hurts my heart. I'm switching the subject, bro. Listen, bro. Megan Good got shot. I mean, not Megan Good. My girl Megan. Listen. Okay, so let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you say Megan the Stallion or Megan the Stallion?
I don't say Megan at all. I say Meg the Stallion.
Meg, you say Meg the Stallion.
Yeah.
You don't say Meg the Stallion.
Nah.
Okay, so Meg the Stallion. And this happened. I was on. How does this happen when I'm on vacation? She gets shot in the foot. I immediately think of Harlem Nights, right? And so now it's almost like I'm old school. So Dallas, everybody want to know who shot JR. Now everybody's like, who shot Megan the Stallion in the foot? And everybody says that the boy Tory Lanez is a suspect, but
allegedly,
right? But
allegedly, he was on the one with a gun.
Well, let me tell you this.
Yeah.
They say that Megan the Stallion isn't cooperating with the authorities. I'm going to be honest with you, man. I can somewhat respect that. Because here it is that your boy with the rainbow colored hair immediately starts snitching. And Megan from H-Town says, I ain't fooling with no authorities. We'll figure this out another way, but I ain't fooling with the authorities. I can respect that she's sticking to the G code, bro. Her foot might be, I think she still might be able to wear sandals and flip-flops or whatever, though, man. But I think that's to me. I think it makes. I'm going to be honest with you, bro. I didn't particularly care for her when she first came out. And then what I liked is that she takes pride in the fact that she writes her own stuff, right? And then, maybe her subject content isn't for me because she talks about getting money from dudes. But hey, dudes been talking about way worse about females for years, right? Right. So then I was like, okay, well, now this kind of puts it over the top. Like, I officially like Megan Thee Stallion now. I might have to just start saying Thee Stallion and emphasize thee. I like her now, bro.
Well, here's the thing. I don't necessarily, when I hear the reports that she's not cooperating with authorities, to be honest with you, I think the authorities already have all of the information that they need. And at the same token, I do also believe that she has people in her ear telling her that things can get handled in a different way, which is pretty dangerous. But at the same token, if for some reason the reports are true that Young Lanes was the one who pulled the weapon on this food, number one, his career is over, and number two, he gonna have to go and hide back in Canada. And my thing is with Young Lanes, it's not a good look either way. And so the thing is that obviously he hasn't spoken on it. She hasn't really spoken on it, and at this point, it is a legal matter. So,
listen, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like, what is Dom? What is she doing getting shot in the foot, bro? Like, I gotta know more about this story. Like, how did you get shot? I thought if you shoot somebody, did she get shoot like close range? If he was far away and shot her in the foot, I would think he's excellent target though, bro.
It was in the vehicle, so nobody really knows what happens. The reports, though, the initial reports are that there was an argument. Her and her best friend wanted to get out of the SUV, and then things escalated, and she got shot.
What is Megan Thee Stallion doing with Tory Lanez? They like trying to get an episode going because he's like 5'3", and no disrespect to the short people, but she's like 6 foot tall, bro. Like he's trying to climb that mountain, bro.
Man, I heard the people are all the same size when you horizontal, so I don't know.
Hey.
At the same time, from what I understand, I did hear that they may have been dating because I know that she made a couple of guest appearances on his IG radio thing that he was doing for a while.
He giving hope for everybody under 5'5", man.
Hey, I guess the boy talent speak for itself.
I saw a picture of Megan Thee Stallion standing next to Hitman Holla, who I know is 5'10" to 6 foot. She had heels on, and she made him look like she would post him up and shoot a baby hook shot over him easy.
I mean, I you know, the thing is their relationship was not public. So it's one of those things at this point. I don't even think really people care about that point. They want to know what happened. And
the fact that it's been put out there that she got shot in the foot and she's saying, hey, I'm lucky to have my life right now.
The other key thing that she said, though, in that statement, she said, somebody pointed a gun at me with the intent to hurt me. That's the part, like in her initial statement that she put out.
Tory Lanez, let me find out.
I'm telling you, bro, it's bad. It's a bad look. It's a bad look. Ain't no song gonna save him. There's nothing that's gonna save him, bro.
If she never says anything about this and she sticks to the G code and say, nah, I'm gonna let my people handle that, it could get handled on the streets a couple of different ways that I can imagine. I mean, she's very, very heavily connected with the folks over at Rap A Lot, man. Like, I can see that going a couple of different ways where the authorities may not be involved and he might come through not unscathed now. But I can also see that the homie just might have a flight ban against coming through Houston. Like, I don't know, man. It's so many things. I have so many questions about it. So many questions.
It's gonna get bad in a hurry, man. Like I said, the thing is that the trial starts in October.
It's a trial.
Yeah. He got arrested and he posted bail, but his trial starts in October.
I didn't know that. So mind you, now I'm still fresh out the vacant. I didn't know that he was even arrested.
Yeah, he got arrested because that was the thing. Everybody thought Meg got arrested. No,
listen, bro.
They escorted Meg to the hospital so she could have surgery.
Tory Lanez, up until this point, Tory Lanez may have been having one of the best years of any person, period. This boy that got his hair back.
Yep.
Then went from going bald to catching the lineup.
Yep.
To getting braids.
Right.
Last time I saw Tory Lanez, he had hair, right?
Yeah.
Last year, he was looking like mine out here in these streets.
Yeah.
Then he makes a comeback, right? With his Instagram live. Yep. Best Instagram page by far so far.
And in rap.
Then survives and goes back and forward. That was coming off of Jordan Lucas last year. Comes back. Tory Lanez then goes and bags Megan Thee Stallion, the hottest right now, female rapper. Down. I don't know how you managed to just blow all of that buzz. And
you know how you ruined it? You know how you ruined it?
Oh my gosh, bro. Ace Kennedy.
What's up?
I can't.
It's bad business, bro. Like I said, we need details. Obviously, it's a legal matter, so we ain't gonna be able to find out. But I don't. It's not even so much that I'm nosy and want to know. I'm just thinking that I'm concerned for this young lady. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I don't care what she rap about. She's somebody's daughter. She's as a woman and as a man. You don't put your hands on a girl, and you don't put any other weapon. Like it's just the whole thing is just
right. And I agree with you, and that's why I cannot figure out. Okay, I can't think. Okay, there. I'm not gonna go there. I'm not, dog. Okay, I'm gonna say this, bro.
Go ahead.
She's already bigger than him, right? Let's just say hypothetically, right? They in a car, and she calls him a couple of different names, right? And he's trying to hold it in. And she's already got him. Look like she may be 50 pounds heavier than him, easily to me, right? She thick, super thick. What if Megan Thee Stallion, headbutted that boy and bust his nose, bro?
Nah, she wouldn't have headbutt him because he don't have a forehead. I mean,
I just wonder, like, what that if you've never put your hands on a woman, and I don't think that any man should, But here's the thing. This is the reason why I tell any female that I know that don't assume that all men feel that way, right? Don't assume that you can get all up in some man's face because every other man you know has it. But I would be curious though, bro, to just know, not that it would justify him doing anything. It won't justify. I would still want to know, now that this is public, now that she's made of some kind of formal statement, I would want to know, like, what was it? Did he just pull a pistol out and then, I don't know. If they were dating though, man, it had to be fast.
I think maybe the safety was off and it accidentally went off, because I just can't see, like you said, I don't know a scenario where you just like pointing a weapon at somebody's foot. I don't know. So, and then again, we don't know if alcohol was involved. We don't know what the conversation was, because it is what it is. But yeah, man, let's move on.
Hey man, listen. So this is funny. Also, I'm looking. I just get back in town. I'm surfing on the gram. Everything is popping.
Mm-hmm.
Nicki Minaj. I tried to tell the missus that Nicki Minaj was knocked up, and I thought that she was probably knocked up when she was in the video with the rat. And I saw that she did a post for it, and she was kind of covering her belly. Here it is, though, man. She got the belly all the way out, got formal pictures and everything like that, though, Brad. What you think? You happy for Nicki out here in these streets?
Yeah, I'm happy for Nicki, man. But I'm going to play devil's advocate here.
Keep it funky with me. Keep it funky. What you got?
What y'all don't hit me up in the comments. This is just good content. This is good content. What if Nicki got pregnant because Bodak Yellow got pregnant?
So listen, you said that are you telling me, Ace Kennedy, that Nicki Minaj getting pregnant is an attempt to keep up with Cardi B?
Hey, so response. Listen, the girl Cardi B came out married. She get married. Cardi B had a baby.
Cardi B is dropping these hits and Nicki Minaj isn't dropping these hits. Let me tell you this, bro. This had me thinking. Now that you got me thinking on these conspiracy theories here about, listen, bro. My immediate thought was, what does Meek Mill think about her? Because I think just last year, Meek Mill and her husband kind of almost got into a little scuffle. I don't think it was ever that serious, but they exchanged some words or whatever. And it had me wonder, like, what does Meek Mill think about this? Because I want to be completely honest with you, though, bro. I don't think that Nicki Minaj has been as hot since her and Meek broke up. Like, I think Meek's been winning, and Nicki hasn't been as hot. Like, she hasn't been like maybe Cardi. It was right around the time Cardi was just coming on. But it's like, I don't know that. So I'm wondering, like, does Meek look at that like, I had that already? You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Bruh.
I have to side with Mark on this one, bro. I ain't worried about Meek.
Shell, because Safari had the baby. Did Safari have the baby with the girl Erica Mena?
Man, I don't watch Love and Hip Hop, so I couldn't even tell you, but I know
that's the last chick that I thought that he was with, though, man.
And he ain't never really got over her, bro.
Hey, I don't think he has, but listen, bro. The boy Safari's out here winning, though, in these streets. He came back. He went and got his hairline touched up.
Yep,
he back winning.
OnlyFans.
What, man? Listen, bro. Doc, I think, listen, bro. Is Nicki really putting dudes on? Because Meek Mill at the point, he was the hottest rapper at the time, right? When she was with him. Mm-hmm. And then he scooped her on up. They the hottest rapper and female male at the time. Hottest, not best, hottest, right? So then they break up. Cardi B comes on the scene, right? They break up. Meek and Safari beefing or whatever. Now the Meek and Safari beef chilled. I don't know if they ever resolved their issue, but Safari's back working. He's back on TV. He's bouncing back now, right?
Got his OnlyFans.
Right? Meek Mill out here having the threesomes out here in these streets, right? He still is blowing. He gets locked up, gets back out. He's got his Meek Mandela thing going on. He's been all right and probably just as good, if not better, after Nicki. And Safari's probably, at least you know Safari now, right? Like, most people didn't really know about him while he was with. So he wanted to be an artist. He's kind of shining more now. He's on his own. So I think that they're both they're kind of well off. And so, oh my gosh, bro, you got me. I didn't look into it more until you just said that, though, man.
I'm just saying, man, like you said, musically, like Nicki's put out some stuff, and she's Nicki, so of course you're always gonna be checking for it. But it hadn't really been like those global hits that we're
when is Nicki Minaj gonna put out a song that's better or bigger than Bodak Yellow, bro?
Man, I don't know, because I don't know that Nicki's necessarily focused on music right now.
Listen, I know that she's doing her thing and everything like that. But here's what the because this is my thing. I think Cardi B had back to back about three or four dope songs back to back to back. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, I don't remember the last great Nicki Minaj song. I think it may have been way back from Anaconda, was it? But I'm just sitting here thinking, like, it used to be where it was regular. And so my concern is that I still have Nicki Minaj as the greatest female rapper of all time, best of all time.
She's not, but I hear you.
Well, my thing though is that, like a lot of greats, you get to a point where you start to fizz off. And is Nicki Minaj? I mean, she still has the following, right? But is she still fizzing? Is she fizzing off on her hit making potential?
She's not. The thing is that Nicki needs to refocus. The problem with Nicki is she started focusing so much on Cardi B, she's lost focus on the music. So the thing is that we know Nicki's nice with the pen. We know Nicki can come up with hits. We all of this stuff. But the problem that she's running into, people don't care about who writes the songs and stuff like that. Like that's just like Snitch 9. Nobody cares that he snitched like that, because the people that are buying his records aren't the ones that cared anyway.
Well, here's a good point. So the homie Mark said that she did Hot Girl Summer with Lee Stallion. She's done some features with other people. It's because she's done some features with Yo Gotti, where she did Rake It Up with Yo Gotti. She did, these were all songs that I'm aware of besides Hot Girl Summer. And even then, she was riding the wave, right? I mean,
but that's the thing. That's where she needs to stay. She needs to stay in the feature game for right now. She just do the same thing that Drake does. What does Drake do? When Drake is not putting out an album, he just rides his way by doing a bunch of features of up and coming hot people or people that's hot or whatever. Do that and then drop something.
Listen, man.
And so now that she's pregnant, she can drop an album because that's the antic.
Listen, bro. Damn, I ain't think about that. Nicki Minaj needs to go ahead. Nicki Minaj needs to jump on the Bel Air 2, bro. If she doing these features, tell me what it is.
Hit one of the barbs up, bro.
Listen. Hey, so one of the things that also happened while I was out, I know that y'all was talking about, on last week, y'all were talking about Nick Cannon, bro.
Yeah.
I got mixed feelings about this, though, man. But Ace Kennedy, I'm asking you, it's the cancel culture. They coming for Nick Cannon, man.
They need to stop, bro. Listen.
What you think?
This is the thing. You can't cancel I told you this a while back. You got to be careful on when you talk about canceling everything. There is not a person, not a human, not a living being alive that has not made a mistake. The thing is, the difference between Nick and some of the other people, he's not doubling down. He's going to do his research. He's going to meet with people that can educate him on the things that he did wrong. Go ahead.
Vacation mode. Tell me what Nick Cannon said.
Okay, that was never a concern for me on exactly what he said. That was never a thing for me. There's other headlines out there on what he said that was never.
I just knew that somebody said it was anti-Semitic.
Yeah, it was about Jewish. It was about the Jewish community, and I know it had to. And so he made some comments about the Jewish community that it was almost. This is not what he said. This is not what he said. But it was similar to something like, if you're a black person, you can't be racist because we've always been the one that's been oppressed, so we can't be racist. So it's almost something like that, something similar. But it was about the Jewish community, and the thing was that, again, he's met with all kind of rabbis, other leaders in the Jewish community, and he is doing the steps to make things right. The problem is everybody's jumping on him. Of course, the Jewish community is jumping on him. Some of the black people are jumping on him for apologizing. And my thing is that Nick has done entirely too much for the culture in order for us to forget that stuff. Like you can't do that. And so my thing is, I understand there are some people, when they do stuff, they double down and triple down, or they just get caught. This wasn't the case. He was doing it on a podcast. He had misinformation. So what he did, he retracted his statement and came back and apologized, and he's doing the legwork. So the thing is that's the difference. And I think everything has to be a case by case basis. We can't just cancel each and every person for a mistake. You can't do it. If that's the case, you're gonna be canceling everybody, because everybody has done something.
So this is the thing. I would be. I see this in so many different fashions, right? Like I see this, like I can understand where what I don't understand. Right? I don't understand like if the black community was jumping on him about apologizing, but I can understand why someone would say, "Listen, I'm tired of us having to apologize or automatically accepting somebody's apology," right? Us and apologizing has been synonymous my entire life. That's just what we do, is we apologize or we accept somebody's apology, and it's immediately, right? So I guess I can kind of understand if someone said, "Listen, bro, if you felt in your heart of hearts that you did not say things and you had malicious intent in trying to disrespect somebody's community," then I can understand that. The issue is that if he looks back on what he says and says, "You know what, bro, that's foul," because if someone says something about the black community, right, that we find to be disrespectful, degrading, whatever, we trying to get that, we clapping back immediately. So I don't think that we should be exempt from being on the receiving end of it. It's just unfortunate it has to be Nick Cannon. And I agree with you. I think that you would be hard pressed to find someone of his, especially age, right, who has put on more, you know what I'm saying, especially in the entertainment side of the black community, man. So,
but that's the thing, though. That's what I'm talking about, right? We're not exempt. And that's one thing that black people as a whole need to understand. We don't just get to say any and everything that we want to, and then not expect some people to be as offended as we are when things are said about us. So that part I'm cool with. But I'm saying this for everything. We can't be so quick to cancel everybody. Like, it has to be a case by case basis, and we have to look at the person's heart. Like I said, the dude had misinformation. He was talking about something that he thought he had the right history on, and he didn't. He learned why what he said was wrong. So after speaking to those elders and those people that can tell him why, can articulate to him why it was such a bad thing for the Jewish community, that got him to thinking, and it also helped him realize we're closer as a race than I even thought, because of this, because of that. So he's learned something. So the thing is, instead of like Charlemagne, his new thing, instead of cancel culture, it needs to be counsel culture.
I get that, bro. I mean, I don't know. I just think that, to me, the one thing that I did see on this that was interesting, though, is that Diddy reached out and was like, "Hey, you know, they let you go on over there, but we black owned on over here, though, man. You can put your show on Revolt." I thought that would be dope. And to be quite honest with you, man, I mean, I think that would be a good look to have Nick Cannon on. I mean, Nick Cannon has put on a lot of, think about this though, bro. Like, think about all the people who, you know, for us, and I'm gonna assume that it isn't just black people, but let's just think of when I am talking about the black people, all of the people that Nick Cannon has put on through having Wild 'N Out on. There's people who, you know, my Wild 'N Out has been on for over my son's whole entire life, and he probably knows everyone from the cast and everything. I think this craziest kept is Nick Cannon with all the things that people try to say about talent and this, that, and the other, Nick Cannon to me has woven himself into Black America, like the family. Like he is part of like he's almost as recognizable as anybody else that you can imagine, and not for his music or not for in a movie now. You know what I'm saying? Like his show has been on for years. And his contributions, I can't. I'm still with Nick Cannon on this though, bro.
Kevin Hart said it best, right? When Kevin was going through his incident with the LGBTQ community, right? The one thing that he said is that I may not agree with apologizing for what happened, but there are other people that eat through me.
Yes.
So if I get in trouble or something happens to me, he said it on Joe Rogan's podcast. He was talking about how I appreciate Dave Chappelle because Dave Chappelle can say things that I can't. He was like, let's just keep it real. Kevin is a corporation. You know what I'm saying? And if something happens to Kevin Hart that causes him to lose his endorsements, there are other people that are going to feel that effect. Kevin would be fine. Kevin would be fine. But the rest of the people that works for him wouldn't be. Not necessarily.
Yeah.
It's the same thing for Nick. It's like, we talked about on an earlier episode. What do those people do who are with Wild 'N Out? Do they stay with MTV? Because it's like, yo, I need to eat. But at the same time, but Nick put me on. So it's like, I'm with you. I think it would be dope for him to move his brand over to Revolt because he is such an outspoken young man. But at the same token, I think that with that, he also is fighting for that brand because he did, even though he birthed the idea, he did sign the rights over to Viacom. So,
yeah, it would be interesting though, man. I can't. I am curious though, man. It's how far do you go? That is a good question though. Is it that you go as far as necessary? Or to your point, is it selective? Do you judge everyone case by case?
It should be a case by case for everything because it also depends on what you did. And it also depends on, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, you cannot be punished for one mistake. Yes, I understand certain mistakes, are different. Like in Tory Lane's case, ain't no recovery from that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same token, we didn't think that Chris Brown was going to be able to recover from what he did. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's a case by case basis, man. And this culture is a little bit different because if Chris Brown would have did what he did today.
You know what, man? This was crazy. I was one of those people where I was so angry about the Chris Brown Rihanna thing.
Yeah.
And then the minute that I saw a picture that someone had posted on one of those blog sites where Chris Brown and Rihanna are on like some kind of vacation and they hugged up or whatever, looking like they could be a couple, I was like, I'm done. I'm off that. And it's not to say that I condone, somebody putting their hands on a female on any level. But at the same time, once she opens her heart up to it and says, I'm past it. Yeah. I can't sit there and hang on that much longer. But
let me ask you this. If we find out that, who knows, there was an accident with the weapon going off, right? And then later on down the line, Megan Thee Stallion does a song with Tory Lanez. She's
gonna do one. I gotta let it ride. Because he didn't, because if it was an accident, then he didn't intend for that to happen. It was just something that maybe it wasn't on safety, and you dropped your gun or whatever. Who knows, man? These dudes, the rap thing is to turn your gun sideways and whatever. He a little guy. Maybe his palms ain't that big to hold the guns. I don't know. But if they were together, I'm sure there's a song. And so provided that if it was just an accident, he serves a couple of months, does some community service or whatever, if it's light work, and then, she comes out there. If Megan, even now, she doesn't even have to do a song with him. If Megan says, no, me and him are good, then I don't got to know nothing else at that point. It just erases everything the minute that she says, no, me and him are good, whatever. Whether or not he did it on purpose, whether or not they got into an argument, at that point, if he punched her in the face, if she says we good, I don't have nothing else to say about it.
Okay. What's next?
Hey man, listen. So I saw the boys T.I. and 50 Cent. It looks like they moving on. I was kind of disappointed because I saw that that Snoop Dogg and DMX got a versus battle coming up on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of disappointed that it wasn't T.I. 50, but now it looks like that was just kind of gone. It's over.
Well,
that's it.
I just said he's not gonna waste any more energy on it. Like, first of all, them two talked about doing the verses ahead of time. Like T.I. told him, yo, I'm about to do something. He didn't give him particulars. And he even said, like, I probably went a little harder than what I initially told him I was going to. But at the same token, him and 50 are good, bro. Like, they got a venture, they got a show that's getting ready to come out that they're both executive producing. Them two are good. He just was like, look, I needed somebody that can match my energy. But 50 just don't have the time, and so, if he ain't gonna put if the same energy, then it's pointless. Like, I still want a caliber of artists that
Who else can T.I. go against?
Let me think about that.
Jeezy.
Nah, Jeezy ain't gonna match the energy, man. He's not. Like, don't get me wrong. I think their catalogs
ain't simple. Rick Ross.
It definitely would be Rick Ross.
Rick Ross wouldn't have that kind of energy. Rick Ross would be more laid back.
He would be, but at the same time, I'm like, at this point, I don't know energy wise of anybody that can necessarily go like that with T.I. You know what I'm saying? But I think catalog wise, Rick Ross could, unless T.I. is going against Drake.
It would have been Luda.
Yeah.
T.I. Luda would have been dope. I don't know, man. I'm kind of disappointed on that one, man. I was ready for all the smoke on that one, though, man. So I was kind of disappointed that it didn't happen, though, man. But the way that the boy T.I. was coming hard at him, I can't lie, man. It makes 50 look like he just kind of cowered down. I'm not gonna say. I don't know what the particulars are, but if you're telling me that nowhere within you got to be hella busy. I'm sure he is, but in a quarantine climate that you don't have 2 hours in your day, right? After somebody just called you all out, all kind of stuff, put you on blast. The competitiveness in your music background doesn't make you say, nah, bro, I got these hits. What's happening? You ain't got 2 hours for that. That's some kind of schedule, bro. So I don't know. I don't know how it feels to be that busy.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't know what type of lifestyle 50 lead. I mean, 50 is responsible for a lot of stuff. And that's just like, to me, counting somebody's pockets, trying to tell me what their schedule is.
Oh, counting somebody's pockets. Migos out here suing their lawyers, bro.
Hey,
listen, man.
Yeah.
Isn't it something that just seems like this? As crazy as this is, like, I understand them suing their lawyer, but like, isn't that just, unfortunately, isn't that just something that just happens in hip hop? I don't hear about these kind of things happening for pop music as often, country music as often, rock and roll. But it sounds like, from what I've gathered, the research department says their lawyer, who's been representing them, also represents Quality Control, their label's CEO, basically. So the conflict of interest is that, hey, you're representing us, but you're also representing the people who's paying us, basically, from all intents and purposes. And so then it's like, well, because you're paying them, you may have more because they're cutting the bigger check. They're seeing the bigger portion of it. Your loyalties might teeter more toward their side because they're the check, right? They're cutting the check. We're cashing the checks here, though, bro. But now that was, and so even then, right, whatever deal they had, because they said excessive fees, right? I don't know what a lawyer does to earn $1 million off of an artist, unless you talk about retainers and all that other stuff. But I guess I just think that, it just sounds like, maybe when I look at this from afar without knowing the details, and maybe Migos, they weren't, when they signed their deal, got with their lawyers, it was like, all right, that's one thing when you're a teenager, you in your early 20s, you ain't making that kind of money. And when you start to get this money, you're getting millions of dollars. So what, never mind what the next person is getting, you're seeing the millions. And now that you've been around and you're getting more established and you're now the biggest rap group, then it's like, all right, well, you're seeing all of the money now a little bit more. And you're like, well, where is these dollars going? And you start to pay more attention to the books and all this other stuff, right? It's the kind of stuff that got Bird hung outside the window on 5 Heartbeats. So I get it, but I don't know.
It's definitely a conflict of interest. It's 100% a conflict of interest. And it makes QC look bad, which is terrible because they've always been such a tight-knit group. Like, you don't hear anything from TDE, and they were like close to that type of status. You know what I'm saying?
Lil Yachty is with the same crew. They got a couple other.
Yeah, the baby, right?
I don't know if I think the baby might be. But it's interesting though, man, because there is this circle of just artists in Atlanta that you see them collab so much that you would assume that they're all crew, but I don't necessarily know. But they might be though. But it is interesting though, right? Because it's like, all right, well, you know what, man, I was cool with getting $1 million, right? Knowing that, you know, somewhere else I'm generating $10 million as long as I'm getting my $1 million, and that's fine. But then once you start doing these shows and you start doing these features and everything like that, and you getting paid. I saw something that Lil Baby said that he does features for like 200,000, right? So if he's getting 200,000, what is Quavo? What is Offset? What is Takeoff getting and everything like that? So when you're starting to see more money, and then you start to think, well, I see the bigger picture now that I couldn't see when I was 19 years old. It's like, all right, now I got questions and everything like that. So I don't necessarily know though.
Well, my only thing with the whole situation, the only thing that I see something wrong with is the lawyer's initial negotiations, because again, if you're looking out for the interest of the ownership versus the artist, that is a conflict of interest. So that's the part that I have an issue with. But the flip side though, I'm not okay with them complaining about their contract that they signed.
I agree. And now if you want to say you want to renegotiate your contract, right, then that's one thing. But it's like at the end of the day, you signed as someone who's no one ever heard of, right? Mm-hmm. You signed what is typically a first time artist contract that everybody is
even
yes, like everybody is signing. I mean, it always have seemed like everybody signs a bad first time deal, and then you take your lumps, you might complain, and then after that you kind of go. So it's like I understand right now where Migos is at, where they're like, all right, we are on the cusp of dropping another album that's taken us 2 years to record as a group, and now before this comes on now. We think this might be the best. These boys might be sitting here thinking like, no, this album is about to go next level, right? And I'm not trying to get that same kind of change that we was getting before, knowing now that I'm looking at the books that I got my lawyers making millions of dollars off of me. Like, what is the lawyer doing to generate millions of dollars? Like, I don't know what an entertainment lawyer does. You know what I'm saying? But they're saying they're citing him for excessive fees, which tells me that he's overinflating their numbers. The complaint is, right, is that a complaint that you have with quality control? Because that's a contract you signed with your lawyer. So is your lawyer then billing that fee to your label? Right. So those are the kind of things that I don't necessarily know that if you're Migos, are you mad at quality control because now you're saying you've been knowing that they've been overbilling us this whole time? Or if you're quality control, you're saying, listen, this is the deal that you signed with your lawyers the same way you signed the deal with us for your album sales, music, royalty, all that other stuff though.
Well, Coach P responded. So the thing is that it is bad blood right now. At the end of the day, I think the Migos just want off of their deal. Like they want to be solo artists. They have the fans. They have all of that stuff. They just
makes sense. And that's why that's exactly why I don't understand why Drake would be on a label at this point, right?
Okay.
Because like Chance the Rapper says that he's not on a label, even
Right.
though he has his some kind of deals with Apple or whatever.
Yeah, that's a distribution deal.
That's a distribution. But Drake is far bigger than Chance the Rapper and would be able to generate even more. And so when I look at that, unless you're saying I don't want to be responsible for doing the work that a label does, and I'm okay with being the artist and part owners, partners with them, so that I don't have to do because you think that's Tory Lane said, I do a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm completely independent. And so because that's the case, you got to do the radio part. You got to do the meeting with the execs to get placements. You got to do this, that, and the other. And so then it's like, do you really have the capital to be able to do all of these things that account for expenses as that a major label would do? But at the end of the day, I can see why Migos would not want to be on a label. Like, I think that they're big enough to still be mainstream independent artists, though.
Yeah. And the thing is with Drake, I think it's a loyalty thing. And the other thing too, I know that they have probably renegotiated his contract to where it is more of a partnership. That OVO is a subsidiary of Young Money. So
no, whoa. I don't think that Drake's OVO deal is with Young Money.
No, they go straight to Universal, right? I mean,
right. I think it is. I think the last time I thought, I could be wrong, I thought it was Motown. But then here's the other thing too, right? Okay, so then the question that I have for you is this. Okay, so Drake is with Young Money as an artist. Young Money, he renegotiated his deal. Young Money, Cash Money, right? And I'm pretty sure he may have threw OVO in there or some kind of way. But I think the thing that is kind of interesting though is that I get that he wanted to be loyal to Wayne, right? Yeah. But he has his own artist signed to his label, right? And he don't got them going through Young Money, right? So I think that it's interesting though, right? That you're saying I'm loyal enough to put myself out there, but I don't want to put my other people out there on there too. I think that's interesting.
No, but I mean, that's the same thing with Cash Money and them giving Wayne Young Money. I mean, the thing is, it's like,
that's different.
What I'm saying is, I think that at the end of the day, that's probably part of his negotiation of like, I want to have my own people to put on. So the thing is like, I get that. I don't see nothing wrong with that.
I get that, but I guess what I'm saying though, right, is that if you're that loyal, right, why wouldn't you just say, okay, well, I'm going to do OVO Cash Money or OVO Young Money?
I think the reason is because you get him. Like, there's name somebody from Drake's camp that's doing something.
Division.
Who?
Division.
What are they doing?
They Division, Party Next Door.
When the last time Party Next Door dropped the album?
Not an album, but he still writes. I mean, he has regular music that's just out there. He's working on it.
He just drops singles here and there. Again, he's not doing what Drake is doing. All I'm saying is none of Drake's artists are producing like Drake.
Here's the thing though, right? Do you think, this is just a hypothetical question, do you think that Drake's artists aren't doing anything because, unlike Cash Money, with him signing to Wayne was really pushing Drake and Nicki, even if that meant he had to take the back seat. So do you think that maybe Drake just doesn't do a good job at marketing and pushing his own people? Because listen, Division, dope. Party Next Door, dope. It's not like they're putting out, it's not like they're bad artists.
I didn't say that.
I'm not saying that you are, but what I'm saying is that they all put out great music. They all put out great albums at that, right? So is it that they're putting out these great albums and they're not getting the engine behind them, that for whatever people want to say about Young Money, Cash Money in particular, Young Money puts out great music through these artists, but it's also because of the backing of Cash Money. So is it maybe that Party Next Door isn't as big as Drake was to Wayne, or that Nicki was to Wayne, where they're almost looked at to some people as equals to them because Drake doesn't push them the way that Cash Money pushed Wayne to push them.
I've heard that several artists say they didn't want to be signed to OVO because Drake is the label head. Like
you would never be bigger than him. But I think, but that's my point though, right?
And then what I've also heard too is that stuff that Party has written, if Drake likes it, he'll take it and use it.
I don't think but he's getting paid. Like, he's
getting paid. I'm not saying that.
Speaking of which. Okay, so we're talking about this, right? So here's the thing, right? Did you hear Drake came out with Pop Star, and then there was another song that he came out with. Okay.
It's like Greeks or something like that.
Yes. So here's what's funny, right? I love Pop Star, by the way, since we're talking about Drake. I like Pop Star more than I like Tootsie Slide. I hated Tootsie Slide, love it, hate it, whatever, right? But the other song, though, it doesn't even sound like Drake. I thought it was
somebody else.
I thought it was The Weeknd, but it wouldn't surprise me that if that was a Party Next Door song that Drake said, let me hop in and let me record this one and then take it, because maybe he's looking at it like, all right, I just want the song to be out. And if that means that Drake would make it a hotter song, then that as a songwriter, then you just want the most out of that song.
I understand that, but at the same time, like it also too, without talking, I can't speak for Party Next Door. I don't know what his ambitions are. Maybe he's cool with just writing.
I think the minute though that you put out an album, you want to be that dude, right? Like even if you like this is what's funny because we're talking about this because I'm tricked out because Mark, you said something I was just about to say a comparison to. So T.I. has some artists on Grand Hustle, and he's had some artists. I mean, he had Young Dro, and Young Dro when he put out the first Young Dro. I'm clean in the shoulder lean joint. That was like super fire. And I thought Dro was ready to be a big artist. But then I think that part of it had to do with T.I. kind of at that time getting locked up, coming out locked up. But even now, he has some dope young artists that I just don't think, like he got that one girl, Tokyo Jet, I think it is. And she dope. She sounds like almost every girl who I know, which isn't a whole lot because everybody I know from Atlanta that lives here isn't from Atlanta, but she sounds like an Atlanta girl and she be going though, man. And he got people that when I hear them, I'm like, yo, why aren't they bigger? But it's also because, like I said, it's something about Wayne and how he pushes the other people because he had some of those other people that were under him that just probably, they weren't as big as Drake and Nicki. They probably weren't as talented. Like he had Gutter and they were good and everything, but they weren't them. But the two that had that sauce, he pushed them. And Drake has artists that could be that. I just don't know that he's figured out how to push them, even if that meant that he has to take a step back, because Wayne did that.
But isn't it amazing how, right, you can get on features with other artists, but you won't be featured on your own people's stuff to push them?
Hey, well, okay, let me ask you this, though.
Yeah.
So we get put on, right? And you become one of my artists, right? Do you really want to feel like you need me on every song to make it bigger?
No. I need you on every song, but as a camp, I mean, the thing is that camps do that all the time. Like that. I mean, that was how Master him.
Drake was on Wayne's stuff before, you know, he kind of came
on together, just doing the songs that they were featured on together. Like, no, like if you're in the same camp, you're in the same camp. Like the thing is that if I can help you, you help me. No, that if I don't care which one of us make it first, it doesn't matter. If I got to use you to help me get to the next level, that's what it is. It's music business.
Music. I get what you mean. I wonder though, bro. Like, I just wonder. Drake is so big that so even Jay-Z, right? Let me just take it a step back. Even Jay-Z made Beanie Siegel a household name and made Memphis Bleak a household name, that it was up to them at that point when you put your own, because you can't put that when you have the gift, you can't put the ambition in somebody, right? You can't push the growth. You can't do all that stuff. But he did his part though, right? But so I can't. So, but even then, I would always wonder. Freeway, for example, Chris and Neef, they had the Rockefeller had a roster, phenomenal roster, and then it took Cam joining them as the only artist still that was an original Rockefeller artist to not necessarily surpass Jay-Z, but to still go on and do his own thing and still remain that, and then be able to still have his own movement. I just think that there's something to be said that even though the Cam signing wasn't a Jay-Z thing, it was more Dame Dash, but he was still on the label. But I just wonder though that, you know, is it really about that? Is Drake just so big of an artist that his artist will never be a fraction of his statue?
Not every artist can be an executive. I mean, the thing is that we wouldn't have 2 Chainz if he didn't have the ambition to lead DTP.
Listen, bro. I like 2 Chainz, bro. I get what you're saying. But Shauna is still dope. Shauna's still dope. And I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Shauna was blackballed by the boy Luda, but I'm gonna be honest with you. While I think that Nicki Minaj is the best rapper of all time, I'm gonna be completely honest. I think Shauna, skill-wise, is probably the only female rapper who I think more than Remy Ma, I think Shauna will take any of their head off. Any of them.
Even Rhapsody?
Oh my God, I forgot about Rhapsody. Yes. I think that Shauna would, if it was a going song for song, and let's just say if there was a hint of competitiveness in the song, Shauna would take the head off. Now, with that said, I think that the only person who I think that is close is my girl 3D Natito from New Orleans. She is a monster, bro. And I'm a huge fan of her. She's completely independent. Got a lot of music on out there, though, man. Has an OnlyFans page where she is raking in the bread and never gets nude on her OnlyFans page. But 3D Nati and Shauna, if I had a son, it would be heaven to have them two on a track together. See, but Shauna will take all of their heads off, though.
In my opinion, I don't care what nobody say. I'm with Mark. This is I've been championing this from the beginning. The Brat is my top female, hands down.
I'm not gonna be. I'm not mad at that. I'm just saying that right now, right
now. I mean, right. Well, I mean, see, right now, I'd have to go with Rhapsody.
Right. I would say right now, because I still, Shauna has some independent projects, and when you hear her, she going hard, right? I think that right now, the 3D is she fire, bro? Like she's the only one that her content though, like she's put it like this though, bro. I would love to see Rhapsody and 3D on a song together because their content isn't all like Tokyo Jets. Also, their content isn't city girl content, right? It isn't necessarily like strip club music. They got content, like it's so you can really tell that they have depth in their work. They got wordplay, they got skill, and don't just be rapping. Like it's incredible. But those three, I think that I personally think that they are better MCs than Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. But I still think that Nicki is the best of all time because I think that she has weathered the storm in tenure And I think that at the end of the day, I think that she has the hits and the catalog that warrants me saying that she's the GOAT female. Oh my gosh. I forgot about Tierra Whack too, bro. Let me tell you this. Tierra Whack, Ace Kennedy. I don't usually, and this is maybe because I still feel some kind of way about New York saying that hip hop was dead when Atlanta took over, right? I feel some kind of way about that. And I don't really check for a lot of New Yorkers, bro. But Tierra Whack got that. She got that sauce, bro. Tierra Whack is top 5 females. Now, there's another girl who I can't remember her name. I never can remember her name. There's a girl from New York also. And bro, she has this raspy voice that almost make me think of Lil Kim, Foxy Brown, the Foxy Brown rasp in her tone. Mm-hmm. And dog, she fire. And Neek put me on to it. Neek said, yo, check this chick out. And I saw the video. I was like, whoa. And I can't remember her name to save my life, but she fire. But she would be top 5 also. Listen. Listen, bro.
Let me ask you a question, though.
You said one day you're going to get out the 80s and 90s. Right. No, that was as early as the 2000s, bro. No,
talking about Yo-Yo, because Mark Lane was talking about
Oh, my gosh.
And I was going to ask you, where do you have Queen Latifah on your all-time list?
Oh, man. So I'm going to be honest. If I had on my all-time females list, Queen Latifah is probably number 2. She's top 3 all-time. Yeah.
Did you get the last verse that she had?
I saw a verse with Queen Latifah that had Queen Latifah and Bun B on a song. And listen, it was somebody else. Was it Busta Rhymes? It may have been Bust. It was on K-Slade.
Yeah.
It was, and to be honest, maybe because she was a female, I thought that she had the best verse on there. It may have stood out.
Yeah. She was spitting though.
Yeah, but listen, Ace Kennedy.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this though, man. Tierra Whack makes great music. Great music, bro.
I'm at the check.
And I'm talking about, I don't put great out there loosely.
Especially right? As an MC.
As an MC, she makes, and I still am biased against New York still. I do hold some bias against New York because I still haven't forgiven them yet. Yeah. I'm getting there. But Tierra Whack I check for her like that though. She dope. She real dope. Shout out to the boy Courtney checking out. He said Bahamadia. Bahamadia was dope in the early 90s though, man. But she ain't top 5 though. This is interesting though, man. I mean, good. I mean, but listen, to be honest with you though, man, I think that for female rappers though, in general though, I think that as crazy as it sounds, it reminds me of a time where when Lil Kim was extra explicit in her lyrics, right? And Yo-Yo and Queen Latifah and MC Lyte, they were kind of mild and it was okay, right? I mean, you can put their stuff on, you might not hear a cuss word, but you hear Lil Kim talking about she can make a Sprite can disappear in her mouth. And it's like, well, what you gonna say about that, right? And so there was a time where even if you were a female and you were lyrical, it was cool. But once Lil Kim came on the scene, it changed, right? So now it seems like there are a lot of females that rap, but they don't have that kind of content. So it's almost like a lane for the lyricist, but at the same time, it's like, well, if you're a lyricist and you're a female like Rhapsody, well, what happens when somebody wants to hear some club music, right? Like what you gonna play when you say, you got this City Girls or you got this Megan, let me put this on, right? And it's tough.
It is tough. I mean, you want them to be true to whoever they are. You know what I'm saying? And it's at the same time, I don't know, man. It's difficult. But I mean, at the same time, it's like music is moving into this generation. I mean, we just talked about August Alsina's album, right? 27 songs, and
and listen,
many songs.
Let me say this. I got two things. Shout out to Mark because Mark, you a couple of episodes late. Said, how about the best male MCs of all time, though? That's another show that you laid home, boy. We already had that. And we all see that different. I think that it's a subjective conversation, though, man. And it was an interesting conversation because since it is such a subjective list, right? How different everybody's lists were basically from 1 through 10, though, man. So I can tell you now, though, since you're it's just I ain't listening to here snitch. I can tell you now, though, that Mark, I have Jay-Z as number 1 all time. Nas is not a top 5 all time anymore. On my list anyway.
Bro, we not rehashing. No,
I'm not rehashing. Since he asked, I just want to at least acknowledge that. And Eminem is not in my top 10 or 15 either. So just so that you know that, though. So, anywho, but August Alsina, right? So we and I don't want to go too much into this, but I did listen to the August Alsina, and let me tell you this. I think the album is like this. I did find myself trying to figure out how much of this he talking about Jada on, right?
Of course, marketing.
But the big thing about it too is that I also listened to it and I was like, well, it's cool. Like if you like August Alsina, you'll like the album, right? But I always compare everyone to Chris Brown, and then Trey Songz is like the next tier, right?
Bro,
so
you're
Chris
right.
Brown's top tier.
It's off.
Who?
Yours. Why are you comparing somebody to Chris Brown and he's never even sounded like Chris Brown? That is unfair.
No. When I say that, I'm saying as far as the best, right? Chris Brown is best.
Bro, there are different forms of R&B, and you can't sit. That's like you trying to compare.
I just took you out of my top 5. That's it. You out of my top 5. I had you in my 5.
Bro,
you out of there. Listen, what I'm saying though is I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying that to me, when it comes to R&B, I think that most people would say, who's the best right now doing R&B?
Tank.
Most people would say. Ace Kennedy.
What's up?
Okay. Most people, and by most people, I'm not talking about most people over 35. I just think that generally speaking, Chris Brown is the quintessential consensus number 1 R&B artist right now. Now, you might say that Tank makes better music, but I'm saying artist-wise, right?
Sure. But that's the different. Here's the thing, though. People, I 100% agree with you, right? Most people, if you asked anybody from this generation who's the best R&B person, they're probably going to say Chris Brown. But
okay, that's what you said. Most people.
But that doesn't mean that you compare everybody's music to Chris Brown, because not everybody's trying. Because August Alsina isn't even trying to be in that lane.
Stop it. Let me tell you. Let me stop. Kim, let me tell you this.
Nobody sleep on these R&B artists.
No. Let me tell you where Kim. Kim, we gotta get you on. Let me tell you why. And I'm gonna tell you where Kim's going, because I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Kim put me on, didn't know this, by the way. Kim is who put me on to Summer Walker, right? Before I heard Summer Walker, I saw Kim was checking for her a while back. And I see Kim, like, I think she posted something like on the gram or something. I was like, Summer Walker or whatever. And I'm looking at her and I'm thinking, like, who is this weird old chick? Whatever. But I thought she was real, listen to her. I was like, yo, fell in love with Summer Walker. First time I heard one song from her, I was like, I fell in love, but I didn't check for her.
I like Summer Walker. I've been listening to Summer Walker, but
I am sleeping on a lot of R&B.
See, listen, my go-to person is Jhené Aiko, and then I like her.
I love her. I love her more than I like J. Let me tell you.
Have you listened to her last album?
Yes. Ain't that what they say? Yes. Listen, I like this is what I like. I like let me tell you what I don't like. I'm gonna tell you the thing that I love Janae Ayoko's tone. Like I like her natural sound of her voice.
Bro, you better get your boy. You better get him.
He said Tank is not versatile.
Get him.
He might be right, bro. He might be right.
Listen,
my horns is not working right now.
No,
wait a minute. Hold on.
You're not gonna disrespect my boy like that.
We back. Hold on. We back.
Nope.
Yes, sir.
No.
We are back.
Nope. You're not finna disrespect my boy.
We are back.
Not gonna happen. Nah.
He might be back. He might be right on that. Listen, that's a listen. We got listen. Today, I know we're an hour 30 over. Listen.
Friday.
We're hour 30 over. Let me just say this. Today, I got some time here. So you might be ready to get on out of here. Let me just say this. I think that August Alsina on his album, right? The problem that I have with the August Alsina is almost, okay. Let me go back to Janae Aiko. The issue that I have, and it's not that I don't like her. I love her tone. But it feels like a lot of her music sounds kind of the same. It sounds like one long song, and the content doesn't sway from one to the other. Now, with that being said, I think that if you're an artist and you sing about love, right, then, you're talking about love and everything like that. I just think there's so much of her. She doesn't, to me, like her has variety in her BPMs, her tempos of her songs got a little different. Her harmonies got a little different, and so it's more variety. I think that Janae does the lo-fi sound very well, but it's just I get over it fast.
Bro, you have got to stop trying to compare people that are not like artists. Like you said, Janae Aiko is one of those people who kind of freestyle sings, and I think it's super dope. And she's very open with her sexuality.
I get that,
and I think her makes traditional R&B ballads.
I don't see that's the thing about it. I like so I get that she is more of what I love about her is just I like that she is a modern version of a tradition. That sounds crazy, but it almost seems like to me that her is like them making an Air Max 95 tennis shoe, but making it more comfortable. Right? You got the blueprint from before, but now you just added some. I think that's dope. I think that her, even though she's making traditional R&B, very much like Tank, she's found a way to still make traditional R&B sound current, while Tank has found a way to make it sound current in his own lane of adding the trap elements to traditional R&B while still sounding Tank. I think that her does some of the same things, though.
Listen, we're gonna have to bring this conversation up Friday because Mark finna get these bars, bro.
Oh my gosh. Listen.
He's still trying to explain himself too.
Oh, he's still going. But August Alsina to me, this is what's funny. So after we listened to it, we were listening to the album on the way there also. And I was like, bro, I'm about getting tired of this. Like, so we flipped it. Then I get back. As soon as I get back, I'm hearing that he got this song, Entanglement, with Rick Ross. And the crazy thing about it is that it was better than all of the songs that I heard on the album. I'm like, bro, you should have came out with this as the first song. Maybe I would have liked it more, but the Entanglement is a dope song, right? It's dope, bro. But I just didn't. I don't know, man. But I get that he has his own lane for R&B. I just still look at it in terms of I still look at things in terms of competition. There's levels to the R&B. Who's the hottest?
You comparing apples to oranges, though, bro.
So.
I ain't the only one to think that, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like you, bro, you cannot say that Chris Brown is in the same lane as August Alsina. So are you saying Chris Brown is in the same lane with Black?
No, I think that Chris Brown is the hottest, and I think that they
No.
all. No, listen. I think that there are tiers, right? Of this other thing. I look at this in terms of tiers of who is the best, right? Period. Like so. Then there's so let me explain this, right? I'm not talking about when I say the best, and let me preface this. When I say who's the best, who's the standard, I think that Chris Brown is the standard. When you say who's the best right now, it's Chris Brown. And then you say, well, who's second best? Who's third best? And then you kind of got to qualify. Then what I'm saying is that regardless of how you want to define it, Chris Brown puts out the best R&B music for male artists right now. Now, after Chris Brown, you can say, well, how do you preference 2 through 5 or whatever you say? You might say, oh, well, this person does traditional, this person does trap, this person does this, that, the other. It doesn't matter. I'm saying there's Chris Brown right now, and then below Chris Brown, there may be where I thought August Alsina, Trey Songz was. Now those guys are being replaced in the competitive nature of that by Black, by
Charles.
Khalid.
Answer my question, bro.
Yes, sir.
When you're looking at rappers, right? Do you compare Kendrick Lamar to the Migos?
Yes and no.
What do you mean?
Yes and no.
Why? How?
So my expectations for Kendrick Lamar is that he's going to come with bars, right? He's going to come with content, right? But at the same time, where I look for the comparison for him at is I still expect Kendrick Lamar's songs, when I hear it, to be hot as Migos, even though he's a different kind of rapper. What I think makes Kendrick Lamar great is that he still makes hot sounding music in his style, right? Even though Migos is going to talk about something different because they're from different places. I think at the end of the day,
they are not the same.
They are not the same, but I still look at this.
So what I'm saying is I don't hold the Migos to a Kendrick Lamar standard. So I'm not going to hold August Alsina to a doggone Chris Brown standard. They do different music.
They not that.
Okay.
Chris Brown does more pop, yeah, but I don't think that. Dog, listen, bro.
That's why I said
I don't even think that there's very many people right now that you can compare Chris Brown to.
We'll bring this conversation back up on Friday because Mark gonna get the bars. I cannot believe Mark Lane, being the DJ extraordinaire that he is, has all that.
Hey, he said Usher
to come. No, he's done. He gonna come on this show and try to say Tank ain't versatile. So you like
listen,
nah, bro.
Stop it. Mark, you got it right on point, boy. You are absolutely right. That is a very good comparison, right? So it's not a comparison for August Alsina to Chris Brown because except that they do R&B, right? But I think that August Alsina and Jacquees are a good comparison to each other because he said that they got this little allergy sound, like he need to go ahead and get him a little neti pot, man, and
But that I would have accepted that comparison. But you talking about you listen to his music and was like, oh, because it don't sound like Chris Brown.
No, you know what it is? Because I just think that I thought that August Alsina coming out as a new artist, I was like, yo, this first song, he might be on to something that might be trying to dethrone the boy Chris Brown out here, man.
That ain't never been his lane, though. He's been in the same lane as Trey Songz. That's it. That's what.
At one point, Trey Songz was that dude,
right? And so that's where August. That was the comparisons when he came out. People compared him to Trey Songz. Stop, right?
Bro. But that's my point. Because at one point you were saying that
you put Chris Brown in the same category as Trey Songz.
No, I did at one point, and then Chris Brown left Earth, and the boy Trey Songz just stayed there in the atmosphere, though, bro. I had Chris Brown and Trey Songz when they were young teenage artists, early 20-year-old artists, and they were both trying to vie for their spot, though, man. So yeah, then once Chris Brown album started to change, then that's different. Because I think that very much so. When Chris Brown came out with his first album and he was doing the young stuff though, man, I thought that he was I thought that they were two young dudes trying to come on up. But once Chris Brown established himself as that dude, that it just wasn't any comparison though, man.
Okay, like I said, this conversation's coming back up Friday. Mark Lane, make sure you check in, bro.
Jim, check in. Yo, we talking about this on Friday, 7 o'clock. Mark, Kim, I need both Marks on this one because listen, I'm gonna listen. Y'all, I compare everything. So listen, I compare everything, but I need y'all to keep me honest and tell me that I ain't tripping out here though, bro, in these streets.
Yeah.
Listen, hey, Kennedy, take us home, man. What you got, man?
Last thing I wanted to say before we get off here, man. Everybody has been focused on what's going on, and I understand that we are still, talking about justice for Javier Ambler, and I'm definitely on board with that. But there's another person who we still don't have justice for, and that's Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor,
and
here's still walking around.
That's right. There, the name of the Attorney General is Daniel Cameron. His Twitter name is at KYOAG, at KYOAG. Y'all need to tweet that man and ask him what's up, because it doesn't make any sense that these cops are still out and he's commenting on his page about everything else, but he ain't commenting about that. So yeah, y'all need to holler at him.
I'm about to stay in these comments though, man, because they got some questions. Mark said, Chuck, who your favorite entertainer? Boy.
Yeah. Well, man,
I'm gonna stay in these comments though. Hey, listen, man. So next week we got to put together this R&B because see, we already before we go, my favorite entertainer. Oh my gosh,
Beyonce. Don't let him fool y'all.
If we go, okay, we're not talking about comedian right now. Yeah, Beyonce, bro. I'm Beehive, bro. It's Beyonce, man. What can I say though, man?
No, man.
It's Beyonce, man. Beyonce is easily.
Take us out,
man.
Take us out.
Man, listen, I appreciate y'all for checking in these comments, though, man. We back at it on Friday, 7 o'clock. Kim, I'm reminding you.
7 o'clock Eastern time.
7 o'clock Eastern time, though. So that's 6 o'clock. I'm going to contact the research department, get the research on this one as well, because the research department keeps me honest with these feedbacks. So that's why I'm only talking facts. No cap, like the kids say these days. But 7 o'clock Eastern time, 6 o'clock Central time, we back at it. Slash Brothers. We out this day, man. I appreciate y'all for checking in. Much love. One love, y'all. Peace out. What?